Where we last left off with Maddox. His lawsuit against Dick Masterson in New York was dismissed for, one, being completely meritless, and two, having been filed in the wrong state. Now, since then, Maddox has said, well, the case must have actually had some merit because the New York judge said he could try refiling in California. Well, that's not how it works. You see, that's just the New York judge's way of saying, not my problem anymore. You can file in California, you can file in Greenland for all I care. It has nothing to do with New York, not a New York judge's problem. And so, well, Maddox never even followed up with that. He never filed in California or anywhere else for that matter. All the deadlines lapsed, and so the case died out. Rumor is that his lawyer just fleeced him, so even if he wanted to refile in California, he wouldn't have had the money to do so, nor would he had a lawyer. But in any case, lawsuit died out. That was about 5 years ago, and since then it seemed like Maddox had, to some extent, perhaps mended his ways. It seemed like he wasn't attacking anyone anymore, and that he was just focusing on his own content and making what few fans he had left happy. And at the end of the day, isn't that what really matters? We don't want to see Maddox have to give up on comedy altogether, go back to Utah and rejoin his telemarketing company. We want him to at least be able to scrape by as comedian so that the actual fans he does have left can be made happy. And those of us who have come to hate him, we can at least look up his videos once in a while and laugh at them ironically. He's apparently been streaming as a virtual banana for some reason. I don't know how successful that was. I've only seen a few clips here and there, and it looks absolutely terrible. But it's something you can make fun of, and yeah, good times, right? So what's the big deal? Well, just a few months ago, Maddox came out with his 3-hour-long magnum opus, as Dick Masterson calls it. It's a video in which he just throws whatever smears he can at Dick, everything he can possibly think of, just to see what sticks. And it's full of these sort of allegations that would get you to knee-jerk say, oh my god, that's horrible, but these allegations fall apart at the slightest bit of scrutiny. It's just like his lawsuit, it's just like his Dick Lies video from just a few months after the breakup of the original Biggest Problem in the Universe. But the big problem with this video, which I believe was 5 years in the making, evidence in the video points to this having been made basically since the lawsuit was over. He was plotting his revenge this whole time. But the problem with this video, especially considering his lawsuit and the previous video, his Dick Lies video, I have no idea what the audience is supposed to be for him. At least with his lawsuit and at least with his Dick Lies video, it's clear what his audience is supposed to be. It's clear who he's targeting. And whenever you're doing some kind of persuasive argumentation, persuasive writing, persuasive speaking, the first thing on your mind should be, who are you even trying to persuade? In this video, I just couldn't find a clear answer. Now, in his lawsuit and his previous video, his Dick Lies video, yeah, in a lawsuit, when you don't have the facts on your side, when you don't have the laws on your side, what are you trying to do? Well, one, you're just hoping that you get a really sympathetic judge. Maddox didn't get that. They sometimes exist, sometimes you get lucky, but generally speaking, judges are good at their jobs and they don't get swayed by just weird allegations when you don't have the facts or the law to back it up. Actually, there's also another target audience for the lawsuit. You're kind of writing that in a way to sort of try to bully a cowardly attorney or a cowardly opponent in the lawsuit to sort of buckle and settle. Maddox didn't get that either, so he lost the lawsuit, but at least he kind of knew what he was targeting and knew what he had to target in order to have some possibility of winning. And now flash back to the Dick Lies video. Who did he aim that at? Well, first and foremost, he aimed that at the LA community that he was a part of, the comedy community, the entertainment industry, and also sort of the social network that he and Dick shared together. Because his goal, first and foremost, was to get Dick kicked out of the entertainment industry in Los Angeles, make sure he could never work in that town again, ruin his name, ruin his friendships, and to some extent he succeeded. Rumor, once again, is that he workshopped his video with people in his LA circle, just trying to figure out what worked, what didn't, according to them. So he was able to tailor his kind of content toward that audience and put together something that would work on them. Things like SJW type cancel culture arguments where you just scream rape over and over again because the moment you hear rape, you think, oh, well, I gotta cancel him without even having to look into the allegations. Well, it may have worked with that audience. But there was another audience, I would say a much, much more important audience that it completely backfired with, and that was his longtime loyal fans, people like me who were reading him since the early 2000s, perhaps even the late 90s for some people. You see, one of the jokes around Maddox's persona is that he's right about everything. And that's the joke that's been running since the inception of his website. And it's something that us as fans, we were happy to play along with because it was funny. It seemed like Maddox took that way too seriously and thought that he could say literally anything and people would side with him no matter what because they were loyal fans who agreed with him about everything. But when I saw the video, I thought, well, this is just like SJW garbage. This is something that I thought Maddox would be completely opposed to. This is an embarrassment to everything that I thought he stood for. But still, I thought, yeah, he has a lot of loyal fans. Maybe this would actually work on a lot of people. But no, Maddox's audience is actually fairly intelligent, despite him always calling them idiots. That's another one of the jokes here. But yeah, I mean, if we're computer nerds from the late 90s and early 2000s, we have to be at least competent enough to know how to use technology and stuff. We are pro-free speech. At that time, the internet was kind of the wild west of free speech, a free speech platform like the world had never seen before. And so we don't support cancel culture and all that bullshit. Why would we side with Maddox when he tried to do that here? We're politically incorrect. We're pro-free speech. And the political incorrectness is one of the things that really drew us to Maddox's writing in the first place. He was one of the first people on the internet writing these angry rants that you couldn't really say anywhere in real life. But if you had a space on the internet where only people who wanted to read the content could go to it, it's not a problem for anyone, right? It's just fun for the people who want to read it, and it doesn't have to bother anyone else. But no, Maddox turned into a cancel culture's SJW bitch. And on top of that, his podcast era content, he's always talking about things like, the virtues of critical thinking and listening to both sides of the debate. So once again, why would we just listen to his side of the story and just take it at face value? Why would we not want to hear Dick's side also? And Dick was talking about this as soon as Maddox started making the allegations. He was very upfront about it. He was responding very quickly. Sometimes he would even respond live. So his responses were very believable. Meanwhile, Maddox, he either said nothing at all or what he said was very scripted, very fabricated. And of course, when that's going to happen, we're going to side with the person who seems more authentic. We sided with Dick, but we wanted to hear Maddox's side. His side was just full of shit. So yeah, of course it backfired with us. Now, fast forward to his current video, his 3-hour-long magnum opus, right? Who is he trying to sway with this video? It's not a lawsuit anymore. He can't get any legal action out of this, right? The SJW community, his entertainment industry friends in Los Angeles, whatever they were going to do to Dick, they've already done it, right? What else can they still do to kick him out of theaters down there or to ostracize him from the community? He's not a part of that community effectively anymore, so what are they going to do? And that's assuming they even still care, right? 5 years have passed since the end of the lawsuit, and even longer has passed since the Dick Lies video. Who still cares? Who does Maddox still even have on his side down there? So it's not going to have any effect on that target audience from his Dick Lies video. The loyal fans from long ago, Maddox should know it doesn't work on us. His Dick Lies video failed massively in that regard. Why would throwing the same arguments out there, the same SJW kind of arguments where he just says things like rape or guns or pedophiles or the N-word? And once again, these allegations, they sound awful at first, but if you subject them to even the slightest bit of scrutiny, they fall apart. So this kind of thing clearly isn't going to work on his old school fans if they didn't work on him the first time around. So who else could he possibly be trying to appeal to in this video? Well, towards the end, he says something along the lines of he's looking for people who may be involved with law enforcement or have some kind of inside knowledge of the legal system who could think of new and innovative ways to punish Dick for his supposed crimes. Well, he had a lawyer just a few years ago. He filed a lawsuit. If he was going to do anything, he should have done it back then. With every passing day, his cases get weaker and weaker, and as a lawyer myself, I have no idea what he could possibly do at this point, or what he could have even done in the first place. So he's just grasping for straws. Perhaps another audience he's trying to go for here are completely new people, because he never really publicized his lawsuit. Aside from a few specific audiences, he never really publicized his Dick Lies video from several years back. So maybe he's hoping that some people will come in through YouTube, just randomly see his video and think, oh my God, this is awful, and they'll try to help him out somehow. Once again, I think this is grasping for straws. It's not completely impossible, of course, but he's not getting the reach necessary to do that. He has, I think, about 250 to 300,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. His original video, the 3-hour long version of the video, got about 100,000 views, so not bad. But since then, he's sliced that up into different chapters and released them one by one. Those are getting about 5,000 views each, which once again, for someone with that many subscribers in the first place, probably means he's not getting many fresh eyes on the video. So it looks like trying to attract a new audience is once again falling flat. So I think the only person he really made this video for is himself. That's right, it's completely masturbatory. It's just playing to his own ego because he is a martyr in his own mind and he wants to justify everything he's done up to this point and perhaps will continue to do. But without a target audience in mind, all this work he's done over the past 5 years, making this massive 3-hour long video, I think it's going to be completely ineffective. And Maddox really has to learn from his mistakes. You know, if he just approached this being honest and forthright in the first place, he probably would have garnered some sympathy, and he could probably even still coexist along Dick and some of the other people he's been fighting with. He could just do his own content, and based on how good that content is, he would still have fans. But nope, he wants to keep stirring the drama pot, and I think this is just going to keep backfiring on him, and I've given up on him ever being able to learn from his mistakes. So Maddox, ball's still in your court. Perhaps you could do something to win people over. Do some more of those live streams where you try to answer questions, in person, live. And if you're just honest about it, if you're forthright, people might listen to you. But the way things are going, yeah, your career is never going to recover.